Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare
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 Rama
Krishna Hare
Rama
Krishna
Hare
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 Rama Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare
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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna
Don't use the left hand, I said to them.
Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. You are missing Hare Rama.
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama. Like that.
Hare Krishna 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ramu Ramu Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna
Hare Ram 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 Hare
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 Hare Hare Rama
Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna
Ryan.
Hare Krishna
Mataji, this is Meera. Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Meera. Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Shremika. Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Meera.
Hare Krishna, kids. Mataji, can you give me host rights, please? All right, kids. So, all right, kids, welcome to today's Damodar class. Let's just get started with our class. We're going to start our class with, I'm going to share the deck real quick, but you already know, right, how we do it. So we're going to start with the same thing. We're going to start our class with Shri Guru Pranam Mantra and followed by Hare Krishna Mahamantra 11 times, right? So let's start with Shri Guru Pranam Mantra.
Om Gyan
Radha Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
I gave you Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare
All right, kids, wonderful. Your chanting is always so impressive, but I do not like to interrupt when you're doing it. But now is the time to move on, and we're going to talk about, what are we reading these days?
Ramayan.
That's right.
Ramayan.
We're reading Ramayan, right? So you remember where we left off yesterday? Yes. So you remember where we left off yesterday, right? So we're going to just continue from there. Sorry, kids, my title is not Complete Kara Leaves. Oh gosh, I didn't even complete it, but you will know what I'm talking about. So let's get started. So you know what happened? Surpanakha went to brother Ravan and complained against what happened to her, how her nose was cut and all that kind of stuff. So she told the whole story. And from there, she was assured by everybody, Ravan and others, the ministers and all that, they will take the revenge. And that is where we are starting from, right? So Surpanakha was very, very delighted when she heard that. She praised her brother because he is as a giant among all the Rakshasas, so one with the 10 head and extremely powerful. So she knew that he would be able to take revenge for her. However, Kara considered Ram as a formidable opponent. So Kara was kind of aware that that Ram is extremely powerful as well. So he didn't want to consider Ram as a weak opponent, right? Somebody who can be who you can win over easily. So he wanted to make sure that they don't have that kind of impression. He gave instruction to his brother and general Dushana, and he asked him to prepare his chariot so that they can go there and battle with Lord Ram and take the revenge, because they thought that Ram is very arrogant because of whatever he has done to Shurpanakha. So Dushana actually followed the instructions. Dushana followed Kara's instruction and got the huge golden chariot. And then Kara ascended to the chariot and raised his sword. So basically, it's kind of they're marching right now towards the battlefield where they can fight with Lord Ram. So they knew where Lord Ram is residing during these days, and then that is where they started marching towards. They had a lot of they had huge army with them, a lot of good weapons with them. So they were kind of very, very sure that they would be able to win this battle. While they were marching towards towards their destination, they saw many various evil omens. So you get a lot of not so good kind of indications, and that tells you, okay, you do this or you don't do this. A lot of people believe in it, a lot of people don't. But looking at your surroundings, you can sometimes you feel, oh, I should do it and I shouldn't do it, right? You should stay back or restrict yourself from doing that. But they did see such indications. They tend to ignore it though. So some of the indications were sky above them was covered with huge gray clouds. So it wasn't pleasant, right? When the cloud is nice and sunny, and then that the clouds are not darker, they're lighter in color, so it feels pleasant. But in this situation, they were not. And Kara's horses also stumbled and they fell even on the level ground. The sun appeared to be surrounded by dark red-edged halo, and a gigantic, frightful vulture settled on Kara's e-sign pole. So these were the kind of very, very different kind of jackals were yelling. So these were very negative signs to tell you that whatever you are starting off with, you may not be successful with that, because these are not the right signs to do that. And that is why, right, when you go on a good mission or anything, you do some kind of rituals at home, you offer your obeisances to the Lord, and you start with the right thing, right? With prayers. And also these were already setting the stage for the failure. Kara saw all these, but he ignored it because he was very, very proud of himself and all his people, that he knew that they are very strong. They're not even afraid of demigods or Lord Indra. So they're like or any of the demigods. So they were sure that they're going to win. So such things are not going to stop them from doing what they are planning to do. And he continued saying that, how can I return without slaying Ram and Lakshman, who are so proud of their strength? They are not realizing that what Lakshman has done is not because he's proud. He has done because of Shurpanakha's behavior. So they are not trying to connect these dots. They are simply thinking that just because they have cut Shurpanakha's nose, that means that they are very proud of themselves. And thinking like that, he is saying that, and my sister would also be very, very happy when I kill these humans. So he's thinking that they're humans and it's so easy to kill the humans. So thinking of all that, he's saying all this out loud, and his entire army were very, very energized by hearing all this, because they knew what they're going to do. They wanted to kill Lord Ram and others. They were trying to, and they know that everybody's supporting that. So in the sky also, many rishis assembled to witness the encounter. Gods, Gandharvas, sadhus, everybody were gathered together to see what's going to happen. First of all, they were very, very sure about Lord Ram, and they were sure that Lord Ram is going to be able to defeat these demons, but they still wanted to witness everything that's going on. And at the same time, we have also read in last few sessions that a lot of rishis were reaching out to Lord Ram in the past, right? And they were asking for his help to kill the demons, who were always very, very troublesome in their worships. So they were very, very curious to see the outcome of this battle, even though they were very sure that Lord Ram is going to be victorious, but they still wanted to witness this. So Rakshasas approached the two princes, and from the hermitage, Lord Ram has also seen these evil omens. So he knew what was happening and what's going to happen. And when the Rakshasas started approaching the brothers to the hermitage, they could feel that. They could sense that they're coming. And with all these kind of bad signs around them, Lord Ram was very, very sure that it just simply means that the death would happen, right? So definitely this is going to be, he's going to vanish those demons from the earth, a group of those demons, and definitely that means death. And he was sure, of course, he would emerge victorious. All right, so when Lord Ram heard all this roaring and so much shouting and drums and all that from the demons, he immediately approached Lakshman, and he told Lakshman to take Sita somewhere safe in the mountains, so that she is kept safe during all this battle which is going to happen now. Because for him, keeping her safe was very, very important. He knew at the same time that Lakshman doesn't want to leave him alone, because Lakshman actually wanted to be a part of that battle that's going to happen now. But again, Lakshman had always been a good brother, and at the same time, he would always listen to his brother, right? Because he always respected his elder brother. So he would respect everything that he would say and would follow whatever he said. So whatever Lord Ram has told him, he obeyed that without questioning him. So he immediately took Sita to a safer cave. And while Sita was inside the cave where she's not easily approachable, Lakshman still stayed there outside the cave with all his arms, so that he can protect her just in case anybody stops by. Okay. All right, so the entire army, Rakshasa's army, rushed towards Lord Ram because they all wanted to. So this is now what we're going to talk about is all about what happens to all the demons who have come there to kill Ram. So how they're fighting with Ram, and how Ram is actually not just defending himself, but how he is answering them with the weapons he has. So all this we're going to talk about. It's very detailed, but we will just try to keep it very crisp. So everybody started, so Lord Ram was actually surrounded by all these demons, right? They all didn't come to him in one go. So first of all, Dushasan's army. So he sent his army towards Lord Ram, and they approached Ram, and they just started throwing arrows from all the angles. This particular script definitely talks about that a lot of these arrows were actually hitting to Lord Ram. So his body was getting pierced and he was bleeding and all. But at the same time, he was Lord. So I'm slightly skeptical about that. But yeah, so this script says that, yeah, he was getting hit by a lot of arrows, because everybody from all around the place, they were throwing arrows on him. There were so many soldiers there, right? Finally, Lord Ram got really furious with this, and then he started throwing his arrows as well. And he had other weapons that he started cutting off all the arrows that were coming to him, cutting off all the weapons that were coming to him. And he started again throwing arrows to the army. So again, yeah. So now this is where everybody says, oh, Lord Ram is just a human and it's easy to defeat him and all that kind of stuff. But here people were really surprised how Ram was actually fighting in that battle, it appeared as if there are multiple versions of Lord Ram, right? And at the same time, the way the arrows were coming towards the towards the demons were numerous in numbers. There were so many that it's so difficult for just one person to throw so many arrows at the same time, right? But it looked like that there's so many Rams there, and then there's so many arrows coming towards that. So this is how he was able to defeat that first group of demons who, what's his name? Dushana has sent to him. So after all that was done, they all died. There's very beautiful description, but we don't have that kind of time to go through every single sentence here. But if you read that, that is very, very detailed and beautifully explained every single action that was happening during that time. But we'll just keep it short. So then after that, Dushana, he rushed to Lord Ram in his chariot because now he wanted to fight with Lord Ram because his army has already fallen down. So he started fighting, and then Lord Ram also started reciprocating with his arrows and stuff. And finally, after a little bit of battle between these two, Lord Ram threw multiple arrows towards him, and I think that pierced his heart. And finally, Dushana was also dead. Yeah, so this is the first paragraph actually here talks about that. I'm going to read it for you. As Dushna bore down on him, Ram looped off his arms with a pair of arrows. Along with his bejeweled arms, Dushna's club fell to the ground. With a third crescent-headed shaft, Ram cut off Dushna's head. So that's what he did. And you know that the crescent-headed shaft you would have seen, I don't know, you kids are very, very small, but long ago we have seen Ramayan that used to come on the TV. And that is where you could see what kind of armories people used to use back then. But yeah, that's a very specific. So they used to have, even if we talk about arrows, they used to have like multiple types of arrows. So the one we see in the picture here is very kind of it's a sharp triangle kind of an arrow, but then there are different kind of shapes for different purposes. That's very interesting. All right, so this is where it says, Ram then swiftly dispatched all of Dushna's 5,000 warriors to death, right? So almost 5,000 demons were already killed by now. Now, Kara was very, very angry seeing everybody falling down. And then he was very, very sure. And all those demons, right? Most of the demons, most of his close army, I would say, were surrounded by people who, as I said in the beginning, that they were not even afraid of demigod. They wouldn't be afraid to fight even with demigod. They were so strong, they were so powerful. And such people dying on the hands of Lord Ram was really shocking for him. He was very furious and he wanted to take care of Ram now by himself. But when he wanted to do that, and he was very, very surprised, who's this human who's doing all this, right? I mean, it's just unbelievable that a normal human being can kill so many powerful demons, right? He's still shocked. So now he wanted to approach Lord Ram, but before he could do that, his personal guard by the name Trishira, again, another powerful demon, another very, very powerful demon. He said that do not approach Ram yet because I'm still around. So let me go and I would be able to kill Ram. If I'm not able to kill Ram by the end of today. So you know how wars used to happen earlier, right? They were very, there used to be rules, right? There used to be rules for everything. And when they would start fighting in the morning or whatever time they would start fighting, by the end, when after dawn, they will stop fighting. After that, they never used to fight, right? In the dark. So that is what I think this demon also has in his mind, that by the end of the day, before the dawn, if I'm not able to kill Ram, I would kill myself, right? So either he's going to die or I'm going to die. So first of all, let me give it a try. And saying that, he rushed towards Lord Ram. Okay, so let's see how he died. Okay, so Lord Ram actually started showering his arrows towards Trishula as well. One thing you would see in all these incidents is that Lord Ram is not the one who actually initiates any kind of killing, right? When people just attack him, all these demons, when they're attacking him, he's just trying to break their chariots and all that kind of stuff, and still it's not stopping them. And that does not leave him with any other choice than killing those demons, right? So in every single situation you would see everybody starts attacking Ram, and Ram will have to take some action for sure. So so this is what happened. He broke his chariot. Still, that didn't stop that demon. And finally, one of Lord Ram's arrow hit his pierced right through his chest, and then he fell on the ground just like an uprooted tree. All right. So the last slide on the story today. So Kara was very, very fearful right now, right? Anybody would be. His entire army was slain, and he was just not happy about this. So he was fearful, he was angry, and then he approached Lord Ram. Now, finally, he was the only one who was left, but he was the most powerful among all the demons who came there. So now he started fighting with Lord Ram. So they both started showering their arrows towards each other, and it is actually compared with a dark sky. So when they were throwing the arrows on each other, there were so many arrows in the sky that the whole sky was covered with arrows, so it turned dark, right? So it's pretty much like that. If you have a light in front of you and you cover the light with something, then it's dark, right? Even though the light is there, it's dark. So the entire sun was covered with arrows, the sky was covered with arrows, that it started looking darker. Oh, very interesting. So they were fighting from both the sides. The fight went on for a very long time because they both were super powerful. And finally, when Lord Ram lost his patience, he threw almost 13 arrows at the same time towards Kara. And then all those 13 arrows hit different things, right? So a couple of them, I'm not going to go into details, but a couple of them hit the chariot, a couple of them hit here and there on the wheels. I think one of them hit the chariot driver, and a couple of them to the horses. And finally, one of the arrow went through his heart, and then he fell down. So he fell down, and all of a sudden, as soon as he fell down, everybody from the sky, so everybody who was watching from the sky, they all started telling Lord Ram, they already knew that he is victorious now, but at the same time they said, okay, he's down, he's fallen now, go and kill him right away. Do not leave him alive there. Even though Kara was on the ground, but still he was laughing. I don't know why, he was still thinking that he could still win. But Lord Ram approached him, and then he finally killed him. Let's see how he killed him. Okay, so he had, anybody knows what is Indra's thunderbolt?
Vajra.
Yes, that's right. So yeah, that's what he used this time, and it is so that that Indra's thunderbolt hit right into his heart, and then he had a huge burning hole in his chest. There was no way for him to survive after that, right? So he was dead, and then everybody, all the charnas sounded their celestial drums. They're showering flowers upon Lord Ram, and Sage Agastya was also standing there. So everybody was very, very appreciative of Ram, what Ram has done. And immediately at that same time, Lakshman also came out of the cave, bringing Sita with him. And then along with other gods and great sages, he praised Lord Ram's achievements. And as night fell, thousands of, animals were just rushing here and there. They just ran away from there because the fight was going on, right? Everybody's scared, right? So even animals are scared for their lives. So they all ran away. Now they finally started coming back. Birds were coming back, and Lord Ram and Sita finally retired. And Lakshman sat there, as he always does, sat there to protect them. All right, kids, that was a long one today. But with that, we end the story right here, and I'm going to just open up this forum for all of you to share your thoughts if you have any from today's story. Anybody wants to share anything at all? All right.
Mataji?
Yes.
My brother, he knows all about Ramayan and Hanuman stories. He always watches Hanuman series, so that's why he's learning more and more.
That is very nice. So we'll let Girdhari speak about that in a bit, okay? So I'm going to start with Ryan because he raised the hands first. So Ryan, let's start with you.
Ram threw an arrow in Kara's chest, so that's why Kara couldn't survive, and that's why he was dead after Ram killed him.
That is right. Thank you for sharing. So Shubhadra, Girdhari, you want to go next?
Yes, Mataji. I was saying that when Kara and Dushana was killed by Lord Rama, they were seeking revenge at Ram and Lakshman, because because Shurpanaka's nose was cut. So they take revenge, and then they died. And then at Rama's arrows, that's why they felt liberated in moksha. So they are liberated, and then they can go to the world, and then Ram saved everyone in the forest. Universe. Hare Krishna Mataji.
We should always be careful of who we kill because we don't want to get sin, right? So we should always be careful who are we killing. Like we can only kill demons.
Yeah, and I think we did talk about it many times, right? So Lord Ram was a law, right?
If a person kills something, then they get a sin, but they don't get a sin by only killing demons. They just don't get sin by killing demons.
Right, and that's what I was mentioning. So Lord Rama was in the forest for a purpose, right? So this is how he's fulfilling that purpose. So yeah, he was there for a reason. So yeah, that is right. Thank you. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. All right.
Mataji, can I go?
Okay, go ahead, Gorangi.
So I understand in the story, like Kara was like when Rama and Lakshman went to forest, Kara came and Kara want to be with Rama or Lakshmana, but Kara was a demon, and Kara, just like Ravan was a demon, and Kara want to wed themselves, and Kara want to wedding the Rama and Rama, But Rama said my brother Lakshmana didn't have wedding. So when Lakshman said no, oh Rama cut with his sharp. He cut his 3 ears, his 2 nose, and one he cut his ears and nose. Thank you, Mataji.
Oh, you remember so much from the story.
Mataji,
Thank you
can
for
I
sharing that,
go?
Ranvi. Yeah, Ryan. Yeah, Ryan, you're next. Yeah, go ahead.
Kara tells enter his heart. His earthly army was straight, rich with rapid, and who he kills face, his ever the gods. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you for sharing that, Ryan. Thank you. Raghu,
Mataji, can I go first?
Shinika, please raise hands. Okay, we'll go in sequence.
When Lakshmana cut Shurpanakha's nose, she complained to Kara that about Lord Rama. Kara was very proud that he was very powerful. So he thought he could kill Rama. But Rama easily killed Kara.
That is right. Thank you for sharing that, Raghu. All right, Tushita, how about you? What happened? What happened?
Ramji keep putting arrows on
Kara.
and then but Kara keep laughing. She laughed and then he laughed and then Rama used Indra's Vajra and then killed Kara and then he died. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Tushita.
Can I go? This is Palvik.
Yes, Palvit, go ahead.
So Lakshmana was so powerful. Alone, he killed all the demons alone. Lord Ram killed all the demons alone. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Palvit. Janvi?
Mataji, can I go?
Yes, Shrinika, you're next. After Janvi, okay? So Janvi, go ahead.
Kara was so proud that he thought that he could kill Lord Rama without even noticing that Rama was more powerful and was the supreme personality of Godhead.
That is right. Thank you for sharing that, Janvi. All right, Shrinika.
Rama is so powerful and they can kill all the demons. Thank you, Mataji.
That is true. Thank you, Shrinika. All right, kids, that was wonderful. My God. From this story also, you had so many points to discuss. You amaze me. You always amaze me. Well, there is no learning from today's today's story, but yeah, there's so many good points about this and we discuss that every single time. So I'm not going to repeat that, but thank you for sharing, kids, your thoughts. Wonderful. All right, with that, let's move on. It's time to learn this beautiful shloka from Anjana Gopik Mataji. So Hare Krishna Mataji, over to you.
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna, kids. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Mataji. Hare Krishna, this is Srinika. Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Toshita. Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Gaurav. Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Ryan.
देखो टाइप करो ये देखो क्या है श्लोक करो गुणाई
कर्माणि सर्वशः प्रकृते क्रियमाणानि अहंकारा
कर्तामिति मन्यते प्रकृते क्रियमाणानि कर्माणि सर्वशः
Time has went away. I also didn't see the time gone away. So the breakout, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, take them in breakout. I was calling.
It is 6:18. I was thinking why kids are increasing. I didn't see that time went away.
Okay.
No worries. Okay, sorry kids for the delay. I don't know. I'm putting some of the Damodar kids. If you're Govinda kid, please don't go there. Okay, don't go to the breakout.
Just don't put some.
I'm opening the rooms. You all can go. If you are Govinda kid and you got a breakout, please don't move. Only Damodar kids are allowed to move to the breakout.